This week on The Real Housewives of Orange County.
She's gone after me for years! 12 years you've been going after me!
You?
12 years!
Little lies and do all of your manipulation like you always do. You are the liar beyond liar.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be recapping the new episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 19, Episode 2. Let's get right into this. Okay, you guys, it's time to talk about this because this is the show that be giving us entertainment, okay? Like, these past 2-3 years, OC has been on its game, okay? I feel like these first two episodes have been more entertaining to me than some other seasons of other Housewives currently have been in their entirety. So let's get right into this because, my gosh. So we begin this episode seeing little clips of the women either in their homes, working out, things like that. The first actual scene of the episode is Emily inviting Gina and Tamra to a place where they get a full body lymphatic drainage massage. Whatever that means. So basically they have these big machines that roll and you put like different parts of your body in it so it can roll it. Like, you could put, like, your hip next to it or your arm, things like that. Listen, I don't know if this stuff works, but it's definitely creative. It reminds me seeing a meme a while ago saying people will do anything but work out. Like, why are we doing this? But, hey, why not? So, the three of them, after that, they go to another thing, and then they're just sort of talking about what happened at the Golden Door last episode. Gina says that she gives kudos to Tamra because she's really trying with Shannon. And I was like, oh, Gina. So because Tamra said one nice thing last week to Shannon after a year of attacking her, now all of a sudden you give her kudos? Girl, bye. Gina then brings up Katie, and of course Emily aggressively jumps in and says that she was so pissed that Shannon was defending Katie, and then Tamra and Gina agree as well. They say that Katie shouldn't victimize herself because she's causing them harm. Causing harm, I think, is a pretty dramatic and extreme statement. I mean, come on now. Tamra thinks that Katie did contact that blogger who talked bad about her. And Emily is really trying to create this narrative that Katie is this Machiavellian mastermind evil person, which is super whack. Listen, I love Katie and I'm going to defend her all season. Am I saying that there hasn't been anything that she hasn't done that's been a little shady or maybe a little like suspicious? Of course not. I think she absolutely has. I think the difference though is when you are going at one person for something other people do, but you're holding their feet to like a super extreme different level of fire, that's when I have an issue. So I'm not going to sit here and allow Emily, of all people, to be doing this BS. Okay, so now this is a little interesting, though. So Tamra says that last year, when they had their season cast picture, Shannon came in and she had a massive, typical Shannon Beador hysterical attack just all over the place because Alexis was also there that day to get her photos for the season. And we all know how Shannon gets, okay? We don't even need Tamra to describe to us what crazy Shannon blow up looks like because we've seen it every damn season. Well, here's the big thing though. When Shannon was having this massive freak out, Tamra says Katie started recording her and then showed it to Alexis. So Gina and Emily jump on this like the desperate, thirsty women that they are. And they're like, oh my gosh, we need to tell Shannon. She needs to know because Alexis was suing Shannon at the time. This could have ruined her. So, like, if they didn't need another reason to go after Katie, now they have this. I can't. So then we see Katie and Shannon hang out. I got to say that Katie is stunning. She really is. I've been seeing a few TikToks that she's done. She's just so beautiful. Okay, so Katie then says that when they were at the Golden Door and everybody was coming at her, she overheard Shannon say to Jen, who was sitting next to her, she's shutting down. meaning Katie. And Katie says that, yeah, it is true. She does shut down, especially with, she had a very tumultuous ex-husband. And in that marriage, when he would like attack her and just go down on her, like she would just shut down. Like that's what a normal, she sort of has this learned helplessness reaction when people come at her. And she says, if they got to know me better, they would know that. Shannon says, I think that there are some times when, like, maybe your wording or the way you say things, maybe they come across, like, not in the best way. So, just apologize. Don't overcomplicate it. Just try. So, she's giving her some advice. Shannon says that to her, it's important for her to defend Katie because she knows what it is like to be attacked by everyone in the group. And I could already see the writing on the wall that, like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to get, like, in between Shannon and Katie's friendship. Like, I could tell this was going to happen right away. So we also see after that, Shannon picks up her daughter, the oldest one, Sophie, from the airport, and then she goes home. Sophie is working in New York. She seems very happy with what she's got, with what she's got going on. Shannon is super excited for her. She's very happy that her daughters are happy and living their lives to the fullest. Also, in this scene, Shannon tells Sophie that Bravo's Love Hotel is about to air. She says that she did make a lot of friends with the guys on the show. I covered the entire season of Bravo's Love Hotel on my channel. Shannon and Earl did date for a little bit, but it didn't work out. And then she's here talking to Sophie about dating someone else, maybe. As much as I have a soft spot for Shannon, just because of how long she's been on the show and all the things she's gone through, she doesn't need to be in any relationships, okay? She is just not mentally mature. It sounds bad to say it, but she isn't. She's an overly sensitive, emotionally immature, overly reactive person, and no man on the planet is going to be good enough for her because she fights with every one of them that she dates. Okay, so then we see Emily and Shane. Emily is talking to him about their son who's not eating and how she wants to do this autism test to see if he is autistic. So she's overthinking a lot about this, like, should he go to a different school? Should he be in a different class? Which, as a mother, I think it makes sense for her to overthink this. She gets mad at Shane for not necessarily not being involved, but he's more of like the, he'll be fine, he'll overgrow it, this is just maybe a little phase or whatever. She doesn't want him to be like that, but I don't think that's a good idea, because I do think it can be unhealthy for you to just be assuming the worst and overreacting about everything. So I think that to have her sort of being a little bit more overreactionary and him being a little bit more of like the relaxed, I think that's a good balance. I think that is a good balance. I did see Kelly Dodd went viral for saying to Emily, like, Emily, your kid's gonna eat. He'll outgrow it. Did you guys see that? She was like, give him some insurance and he'll be fine. I was like, damn. Okay, so then my faves, Katie and Jen, meet up with their husbands. These two couples, they become close. Katie does say that her husband was a little hesitant to get to know Ryan because of all the rumors that were going on at the time, but they've gone over that. Meanwhile, we see Tamra and Heather Dubrow comes over to her house. Tamra has some construction going on in the house, so like literally the entire first floor is like they're working on it. Heather brought over some drinks and some fast food. I don't know what it is, but when I see, like, especially the very, very rich housewives like Heather Dubrow, when I see them eat like curly fries and sandwiches, I don't know, I like seeing that. Tamra is then talking about Jen, and this is this is crazy, you guys. Tamra is trying to put out a narrative that Jen is trying to steal her life. She says to Heather, Jen, she moved into my neighborhood. She went to go see my doctor. She got my hair extensions just like mine. Then she got fit. She works out. Who the hell does Tamra think she is that people want to be like her? Newsflash, Tamra Judge. Who the hell are you? I can't. This delusion. Who on earth wants to be like Tamra? That is ridiculous. Anyway, Heather then tells Tamra that she met with Gretchen the other day. Speaking of which, then we see Gretchen Rossi is back 11 years since she was last on the show. Her and Slade go over with Ryan Jen, Katie, and Matt. So it's the three couples. Gretchen says that because they're over here talking about like, you know, who's fighting with who, and when Jen says that she is going at it with Tamra, Jen was saying that she almost sent like a bat signal, like, I need help with Tamra, SOS, and Gretchen came to the rescue. Because Gretchen says that a lot of the times when these new housewives go at it with Tamra, they reach out to her and they're like, how do we deal with this Tamra girl? Gretchen and Slade have a 5-year-old daughter. They're talking about building a chicken coop. Gretchen says that it's funny how many of the women on the show doubted her relationship with Slade, but they were wrong because they're still together. So when it comes to this, I didn't watch OC from the beginning, which, I mean, duh, I was literally 3 years old when the first season came out. 3. So a lot of these other housewife shows that have like these old seasons, I've had to like binge watch a lot of these shows. When it comes to OC, I started binge watching, I think, season 8, like whenever it was Vicki and Brooks and that whole situation. So I don't think I saw any seasons with when like Gretchen was a housewife, because OC is just so long, so I haven't had the opportunity to watch those. But I've definitely seen clips. I have definitely seen clips of Gretchen and Slade and Tamra and things like that. Especially, I remember seeing an episode where Tamra, like, they tried to get Gretchen drunk, and then Tamra's creepy son took her into a restroom. Yeah, that was dark. Anyway, Jen says that she hasn't really spoken any words with Tamra. Their friendship is pretty much over. Jen says that she has had to step in to defend Katie because they're all coming at her. And Katie's like, yeah, apparently I'm dangerous. Katie also invited Gretchen to the lunch that she's having, and she asks Gretchen how does she feel about seeing Tamra. Slate says, we're talking about Captain Evil right now. And he's right. Gretchen says that Tamra hasn't stopped talking about her on her crappy podcast, specifically talking about Slate. I was sorry to hear that he lost his son. And Tamra has always said, and she's kept this narrative, that he is a deadbeat dad. Gretchen says that the other day when she went to go see Heather, Heather said to her, you know, please take it easy on Tamra, show her some grace because she's going through a lot with what her friend Teddy is going through. But Gretchen is like, well, her late fiance died of cancer and Slade's son died of cancer, and she didn't feel like she got any grace. She says that Tamra is a known liar and a manipulator. Listen, as I said, I don't know too much of Gretchen, but if this is what it's going to take to end Tamra, I'm here for it. So then it's the day of the lunch that Katie is hosting, this hot pot lunch. I love this idea. Katie is there first, waiting for everyone. I felt bad that Emily was like the first one there, then Heather, Gina, then Shannon. I love the place they were in. This lunch is like encompassing of Katie's culture. So the last ones to get there were Jen and Gretchen is saying hi to everyone. She says hi to Tamra, and then Tamra's like playing dumb, like, hi, let me reintroduce myself. My name's Tamra Judge. And then Gretchen says, hi, I'm Gretchen Rossi. Nice to meet you. They haven't seen each other in almost 12 years. You could tell that Tamra was trying to control the situation. So, but they get going with the lunch. So the way the hot pot works is that the servers put a huge pot of broth in the table. And like the table has a little thing for the pot to go in. And then you go and choose what you want to put into the broth. So they do that. Katie thanks them all for coming. She says that she definitely has many regrets. And then here goes Gina. She's like, well, I'm glad you say that because everything you do, I question it. Like the blogger with Tamra. Which, by the way, Katie and Tamra did meet up the other day. Katie went through she scrolled through the conversation with this person and she realized that, yeah, she did call the blogger, so she fessed up for calling the blogger and she apologized to Tamra. So that's what Tamra just says here. But Gina keeps going. She's like, well, that's upsetting because how did you not remember a whole conversation with a blogger? Then Gina turns to Shannon and she says, and then it upset me that you were acting like we were ganging up on Katie. And Shannon says, listen, I stood up not for the subject matter. I was defending someone who had everybody coming at them. Gina says, yeah, but this person is doing things to all of us, including you. She recorded you having a meltdown and sent it to Alexis. So that's when Shannon is like, wait, what? Katie's like, what? No, there's not a video. Tamra says, yeah, you actually told me that you did record her. Katie says, yeah, so what happened was I was on the phone with my business partners and I did record Shannon and I sent it to Matt. But Katie says no one has heard that recording but her husband. She did mention it to Alexis when she and Jen went out. And Jen was like, wait, what? Me? I was there? And Katie's like, yeah, you were there. Jen is acting like she wasn't, but Katie says she was. Gretchen then asks, well, what was the reason for that? And Katie says, I was talking to an investor and I recorded Shannon because she was all over the place. And she says, to be honest, she was pissed because it was supposed to be a great day where everyone was going to be taking amazing pictures, but instead they all had to hear Shannon yelling and crying, which we've all heard, and I probably would have been pissed too. Gretchen then asks Gina, how do you guys know this information? And they say, Tamra told us. And Gretchen's like, of course. Gina then says to Katie, we're not trying to hurt you, so there's no need for you to hurt us. And Katie says, listen, I did some messed up stuff that I regret. And you know what I miss the most out of everything? Talking to you. Laughing with Gina. Like, I am truly sorry to you and Emily. I'm so sorry for what I did. And Katie got emotional. And I could see that it touched Gina. She seemed to accept it. Emily, that's a whole other... But when it comes to Gina, yeah, I think it touched her. So she accepts it. Meanwhile, Shannon can't take it. She gets out of the restaurant. She leaves. Because, I know Shannon loved to play the victim. Jen says that she just doesn't want everyone to come for Katie, especially when they have already all agreed to move forward. Then here goes Emily screaming, Katie gave information about my kids to a blogger. And then Gretchen says, well, that's what Tamra did to me too. Heather says, well, everyone here has done things that are not okay. Tamra says to Gretchen, it's time for you to move on. I don't even talk about you. So that's when Gretchen says, well, you were not too long ago saying that Slate is still a deadbeat dad. You never stop saying that. And then Tamra's like, well, is he? Gretchen says, you're the one who's a proven liar. You got sued, and then you almost got sued again by Ryan. So then Jen jumps in and she says to Tamra, listen, a lot of the pain that we all feel because of you, it's been hard. Tamra says, and do you think she's crystal clean? She contacted my daughter. And then Gretchen says, no, I didn't. I never contacted your daughter. I commented on a social media post that she made. It's not the same thing. I made a comment on a public post that your daughter posted on a public Facebook page. Tamra tries to say that no, it was her ex-husband who posted it, but Gretchen says that's not true because Tamra's daughter even had to put another post saying it really was her and it really was her page. So Tamra says, I thought we could just move on. I thought we could just move forward. Gretchen says, and what makes you think it can all just go away? Tamra says, okay, I guess we're done then. Jen's like, well, why do you always have this reaction? Why is that your go-to? And then Tamra's like, because this bitch's been coming after me for years. It's been 12 years you've been going after me. Some of the women, though, they try and mediate a little bit, and they calm down. They're able to have some dialogue. Tamra says to Gretchen, we need to stop. This is, now up to you. If you want to talk and move on, it's on you. And that was the end of the episode. Well, no, the episode actually ended with Emily stealing an egg from the restaurant and putting it in her purse, and then it cracked. That was the end of the episode. Listen, one of the things that Gretchen said, though, because, Tamra was like, let's move on. It's easy to say let's move on when you've caused a lot of pain to people. But it's not as simple as let's move on. I'm surprised Tamra does she even have any friends outside this show? Because if that's the way she acts, there is a huge character flaw in her that no amount of let's move on is going to change it. So when someone is just, I hate to say it, but just nasty to their core, is there really even is it even worth it to move on? I don't know. But you guys, that was the end of the episode. As I said, OC this season, they've been bringing it. A little frustrating, some of the things that are going on, but I love OC. Next week, it looks like Katie is going to bless us with another amazing episode because they showed a preview of Shannon losing her you know what again, which is typical Shannon Beador. But you guys, please let me know what your thoughts and opinions were about this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.